Hello everyone, and I am excited! There is apparently news about Hero 26, the next new addition to the roster of Overwatch. I mean, people are making videos discussing it, there's lots of buzz, it's gonna be something really awesome, right? So, here we go!
Lots of amazing plans for new heroes. Hero 26 is very playable and very fun internally, and that's all I'll say. And it's not coming out as soon as you think, so everybody don't think that's a teaser. But Hero 26 is already amazing.
Seriously, that's it. I mean, it's not like Jeff's gonna be like, well, to be honest with you, Hero 26 is a bit shit right now, and it's taking us longer than normal to make this one. I mean, come on. This is effectively the same as him going, yeah, we're planning on adding more heroes to the game. It's common knowledge they have multiple heroes across many levels of done. I mean, it's just good developer practice to have that going on. So, this is really not a lot to get a buzz about. Though, it does let us talk about a couple things that I find are actually quite interesting. But first, the guy that he's talking to, the best reaction face. It works for everything. Actually, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you're actually a Hanzo main? So what I can tell you is I've finally assassinated your wife. So, what I am allowed to reveal is that I'm touching your leg under this table. So, if you didn't realize, you're actually not real. Wait, I did like 15 more, but I can't, this video can't just be that. I love it so much. So, the thing of note from this clip in particular is that he says, not as soon as you expect. And to me, what we all expect is a new hero announced at BLIZZCON. That seems to be what we were getting ready for. The timelines line up based on their track record for how often they release heroes. It's obviously a fantastic platform to announce and start the hype train for one. So I think this is definitely takeable as a no hero announcement at BLIZZCON, which is doubly curious because we're probably not going to get a new map. We've just had Junkertown, probably not a new mode. We've just had Deathmatch. So what, if any, is going to be Overwatch's BLIZZCON? Whoa! And I think we might be in for, honestly, something that none of us would predict, because at the same time, Jeff has said that he really wants to see Overwatch go beyond the 6v6 team shooter that it is, and I'm very much in agreement with him there. I've had many talks how I think Overwatch, more than just, you know, a game that people play, is growing almost beyond control, you know? I don't think they ever expected it to become such, well, a gamer's cultural phenomenon that it is, and there is so much more potential for this world and these characters, both in gameplay form and out of it, than just a 6v6 hero shooter. And I love that Jeff is also on board with that. I mean, I would have been really surprised if they weren't. They're not blind to what they've created and how much of a, well, amazing and, let's be honest, profitable thing they have created here. And honestly, it deserves it, because it is an excellently crafted experience. And to me, if their goal is to hopefully expand it beyond a 6v6 shooter, what doesn't do that? Adding to the 6v6 shooter aspect, new heroes, new maps, even new modes, you can definitely argue, just add to that. They don't add new layers to the Overwatch as a concept. So what if at BLIZZCON this year, we actually get an announcement that is a whole new Overwatch thing? Now, I want to be tentative here because obviously this is very out there predictionary, you know, this is by no means concrete, but I would be astounded if they don't have some very big potential future plans for Overwatch as an IP, because they've created and crafted such a hugely successful world that I think people are so in love with that world that they would interact with it in many ways other than, you know, the game Overwatch. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to announce, surprise, we've got 3 new Overwatch titles coming, yeah! So get your Overwatch strategy game, get your Overwatch RPG, although that would be fucking awesome. I don't see them diluting their player base, at least not at this stage, in that kind of radical way. That's absurd. But I could totally see them announcing maybe a roadmap, or at least something along the lines of an additional Overwatch experience, even if it's supported in-game, that is radically different from what we consider. Hell, with the current trend, we might be seeing Overwatch mobile version, which actually I feel like a lot of people would still really love, but that's where my money is. I think we might see something that is really a cut above, or at least beyond, a simple, we're adding cool new thing to the game. And that's something to be excited about. I mean, obviously, let me know what you think. I might be reading way too much into something here, so yeah. Another interesting thing is that Jeff has said he doesn't consider there ever being a point where there is too many heroes in the game. And the initial reaction to that for most people is, yeah, awesome, I'm with you. More and more heroes, fantastic, keep them coming, more variety the better. And while I definitely share veins of that, I do think a part of me is like, maybe Overwatch does better with a smaller cast of characters, at least in its current state. Because think about a few things. Overwatch, very much, its driving force, the cornerstone of its immense popularity, are the heroes themselves. People have got attached to them, got to know them. The actual characters. It's very rare for a game's characters to capture people in this way. Like, in TF2, you don't really have a personal connection with the choices there. You might like them, sure, and don't get me wrong, they have really cool, interesting personality quirks. In many other games, like I love a lot of Dota heroes. I think Rubik in Dota's backstory is awesome, and I like him as a character, but it's never really the level in a game like this. Obviously, in RPGs, you tend to get way more attached. Geralt, I love you. You are beautiful. But in a shooter environment, Overwatch has probably arguably got some of the most people are attached to characters ever. So if they keep adding more and more and more and more, the more it exists, the less special the ones that already there are, because you have to keep coming up with more and more stories and, you know, on a more practical level, mechanical abilities that differ the characters, that you're going to end up having some overlap, some sameness, and you're going to dilute the, you know, almost magical specialness of it. I mean, it is very much a trend towards syndrome, and I think that's something that definitely needs to be considered, because you can't get into a situation where you have someone who's, that's basically Tracer but different, and while I believe they're capable of crafting enough unique characters to avoid that for a long time, Blizzard games get supported for years, so even at their current rate, we're going to start seeing a pool of 50 heroes in the next 5 to 10 years, even more, and that might start to be an issue. And again, this is a very far out issue, and it's not like it's something we need to address this right now, but I do think it's something worth thinking about. And even if we look at it just on a purely mechanical balance level, we have the fact that once we reach a roster of 50 plus with current standards, that's like, what, 10 to 15 actually played, which is a woefully low number and would be an even bigger nightmare to try and balance, because this game is brutally complex to get right. The slightest tweak changes a lot of things, and I cannot imagine the headache of balancing a huge roster. I really can't. It is possible, obviously, nearly every Dota hero gets played, but in fact, even looking at Dota, can you even name me every Dota hero off by heart? And if so, can you even name me a bit about them backstory-wise? Same with LoL. I bet nearly every single person watching this that plays either of those games can, and that's kind of the crux there, right? The bigger the cast grows, the harder it is to care about everyone, and I think that's something that would be a real shame to happen to Overwatch, given how much of its strength comes from, well, everyone caring about everyone, because even as someone who doesn't play most of the characters, I still like them objectively, and I could still tell you things about them, and that's really awesome. But as someone with nearly 1,500 hours in Dota, couldn't do the same there, even though I love me Rubik and Pudge, I don't really give a shit about Trent, and that's just bound to happen when you have that many characters. Of course, I'm going to get someone in the comments who absolutely loves Trent, but that's a thing that happens every single time you do this. But essentially, I think it's totally okay for Overwatch to get to a point where essentially it is hero complete. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think Overwatch is a game that needs to constantly churn out heroes. Yes, it means more cosmetic sales, but I'm hoping they realize at a certain point that that's more harm than good. So, the final thing I want to mention is the Heroes of the Storm update recently. They're getting Volskaya added, they're getting Anna and Junkrat added to the game, which is fantastic, and they're getting, of course, a load of new skins. And these skins, oh god, they really are so cool. And it just, like, I look at them, and obviously this has come up before, but it's like, why does the Heroes of the Storm Overwatch characters have so much better skins than actual Overwatch? Can we have them, please? I want to be Demon Junkrat. I mean, it's just his inner self reflected outward. That's fantastic. And then we have Deathwing fricking Diva. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, and to me, the obvious counter-argument is that would be silly in Overwatch. And I talked about this before. If there is a line that we cannot cross when it comes to cosmetics and the cosmetic integrity of the game, and the thing is, while I believe that that line does exist in various ways, I don't think themed skins on other Blizzard IPs are one of them. Because think about this. Overwatch is alternate Earth. It's set in a universe a bit in the future, but that universe very much is a lot of what we have. In fact, you know, canonically, Blizzard and Blizzard games are a thing and exist in the world of Overwatch. Look at Diva, she's a pro StarCraft player. So, is it that crazy to think that Diva would know about WoW, like Deathwing, and decide to make her mech look Deathwingy one day? I mean, maybe if we look at StarCraft more specifically as that pertains to her, what if she dressed up her mech to look like a Zerg unit? I mean, Diva would totally do that, right? That actually fits with her character and with the world and gives us a really cool crossover skin. So I feel like in situations like that, where it does make complete sense on every way you look at it, why can we not get some of these more zanier skins from Heroes of the Storm? I definitely think there is a big argument to be made for that. I really do, at least in some of the cases. You know, Demon, Junkrat, Diablo-y, you know, maybe not, but in some areas, I kinda like it. I really do. So, yeah, there you go, guys. That's just my 2 cents on things that have been happening recently. I hope you enjoyed this probably rambling for the most part, and I will see you all soon. My name's been Rage. Like you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Oh, good boy.